Good evening and welcome. Support me, Pepsi. I need a sponsor, and I will sell out. It is 2:30. It is the 26th day of March, 2021, and I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the toxic gatekeeper, the man whose camera never quite works the way he wants it to, the OGGM, and it's time for another OGGM adventure / look at the news / I don't really know where to go with this one. So, first and foremost, just in case, trigger warning. I might be using some grown-up words in this one, and I'm definitely going to be addressing some problematic issues regarding the favorite topic of my many attacks, Wizards of the Coast. So, trigger warning, if any of that upsets you, stop watching now. I'll wait. Alright, I assume if you're still watching, you're still here, and you still actually want to hear what I have to say, or you just don't care, and I'm talking to myself. Either way, we have some news regarding mysteries that aren't mysteries of Candlekeep, Wizards of the Coast, and some editing choices that Wizards of the Coast made with one writer's product. And this has been floating around since at least yesterday, possibly the day before, but I chose to wait 48 hours before addressing the story because I wanted to see if Wizards of the Coast would respond or if anybody else followed up with the story, and I wanted to research to see how much of this was true because, it's Wizards of the Coast and you want to be careful. But so far, Wizards of the Coast have not responded to these allegations, and as the story has been backed up from at least two different other sources, so I have to assume it is true. So we are talking about one of the adventures in Mysteries of Candlekeep. By the way, it's not an actual novel of mysteries. By designer and game writer Jerome Berber, better known as Panzer Lion, who is, I guess, a writer and has had some dipped his toes in the finger of all the current turmoil of political correctness that Wizards of the Coast is. So yeah, apparently Wizards of the Coast made some editing choices to the adventure he wrote for Candlekeep that he seems to be upset with, and he seems to go against what Wizards of the Coast told him, and more importantly, against Wizards of the Coast's current beliefs. Now, let me just say, before we go any further, I don't hate Hasbro. I like Hasbro. Hasbro brought us G.I. Joe, the Transformers, and Power Rangers, and My Little Pony, so yay, Hasbro, and Monopoly. I don't hate Wizards of the Coast. I'm not even sure Wizards of the Coast actually exists anymore, but I don't hate Wizards of the Coast. I don't hate 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. I have certain issues with some of the political choices, and I have certain issues with some of the individuals who've chosen to associate themselves with 5th edition and the way the current edition wars are being played out and creating, but I have no feelings one way or the other for Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, or 5th edition. I understand every choice that they make, they believe they are making, because at the end of the day, Hasbro / Wizards of the Coast is a corporation, and corporations exist to make money. And every choice that they're making, including this one, is because they want to make money and keep their shareholders and their CEO happy. So they make the choices they make because they think these are the best choices to make money. Now, obviously, a lot of these choices I don't agree with, and a lot of these choices other people don't agree with, i.e. 4th edition. But here we go. So this guy, this freelance writer, that's a big send-up, this freelance writer wrote an adventure for Candlekeep. And he went to the editorial team, and they processed it, and there was no hitches. He pitched an idea, which was accepted. They made some modifications, which, they are known to do. Did what everything that an editor / creative team would do for dealing with a freelancer, checking the writing, checking the spelling, checking the grammar, making sure it fit the theme, whatever, crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, sacrificed all the goats, everything he needed to do. It went through playtesting, no problems. They contacted him for some further edits. He got paid, and then didn't hear from the company for several months. And then they began coordinating media interviews with him where he discussed players being able to play this adventure and what this adventure did and how he built it out on the cultural and relationships within the adventure and how it interconnects with Candlekeep and how it dealt with some of the threads of the Forgotten Realms lore. And so in the adventure, it's basically there is a group of Yuan-Ti who are looking for a forgotten relic, and the player characters get involved in it. And there's some of the Yuan-Ti in the adventure want to work to create a better world by hastening the awakening of their goddess, and the other group of the Yuan-Ti want to stop them. And in the middle are caught a group of Grippli, who are frog people, Yuan-Ti being snake people if you don't know who they are. And, of course, the player characters. And the player characters have to decide how do they keep the Grippli that are caught in the middle alive, which of the two sides, if any, do they want to help, or do they want to hinder, whatever. Pretty typical political fistful of dollars D&D adventure. You're caught in the middle. You've got one side, you've got the other side. Both sides are right, both sides are wrong. There's innocent villagers in the middle. Do you side with one? Do you side with other? Or do you play them both against each other so they end up, just basically destroying themselves and the villagers are safe? Again, it's fistful of dollars / Yojimbo. So, that is the adventure he wrote. And, I don't know, it doesn't sound great, doesn't sound bad. Sounds like he's trying to do a D&D version of Fistful of Dollars / Yojimbo and expand on, bits and pieces of Forgotten Realm lore that that sometimes get forgotten in the bigger scheme. So that's what he wrote. In the published version, which is referred to as the Book of Cylinders, both sides of the Yuan-Ti were reduced down to being evil for evil's sake. The Grippli had their culture stripped. Colonial language and imagery around the Grippli was inserted as well, moving them from being simple and utilitarian with obvious culture and technology to being primitives who primitively decorate their thatch huts with crab bits. And the worst part of the experience, according to this guy, is that he was interviewed and did promotion for Candlekeeps, where he gave one impression of what he thought the adventure was going to be, and the other, and what they printed was not what he said it was going to be. Basically, they didn't just edit it according to him, they completely rewrote his adventure. And so now he doesn't want to be associated with it. He wants his name removed, which is fine. This isn't what he wanted. You changed the adventure in a way he didn't agree of. And so Panzer Lion, who's also known as POC Gamer, Mr. Barbar, wants his name removed. And I assume that means that he's going to give the money back as well, but who knows? Now, this follows, of course, over the last 2 years, Wizards of the Coast making multiple public statements about the promise of improving working relationship with creators of color and reviewing the racist elements of Dungeons & Dragons and popular trading card game Magic the Gathering. Those initiatives, of course, were themselves response to public outcry over the testimony of blah, blah, blah. We know that the part that for the past year, especially with Tasha's book of, everything, or Tasha's cauldron of bubbling madness, or whatever you want to call it, Wizards of the Coast has repeatedly said over the past year or so, no more evil races, no more evil for the sake of being evil, no more portraying anybody as primitive. Orcs aren't primitive. There are no primitive races. We don't use colonialist words anymore. We don't use racial profiling or any of that other things that we've supposedly did in the past. Our Oriental adventurers, Dro, the Vishante, orcs, were the new Wizards of the Coast. And Tasha's and Candlekeep are products that are going to, of course, embrace this new improved idea about, the public image of Dungeons and Dragons, and we're not going to have racism, sexism, colonialism. At best, we're never, ever again going to say a race is inherently evil for the sake of being evil. So that is, of course, Wizards of the Coast statement for the past year. The irony and the hypocrisy, of course, being that was the impression this guy gave about his adventure. And then Wizards of the Coast apparently changed it to the point where it just goes against everything Wizards of the Coast has said about the past year and turn the product into where the race is evil for inherently being evil. There isn't, there's no good guy Yuan-Ti or bad guy Yuan-Ti in this story anymore. They're both just evil Yuan-Ti who are just being evil for the sake of evil. And the Gripply, who apparently do have a, very utilitarian culture, they were changed into primitives, cavemen, people waiting to be colonized and accepting their, good Catholic lifesavers to change them. And basically, yeah. So, of course, obviously, the hypocrisy is Wizards of the Coast has been saying for the past year, we're not going to do that anymore. And then they went and did that. Well, we're never going to have an evil race. Well, we just said, yeah. So this is the irony. This is the hypocrisy. This is what I find funny. Now, this guy, Babar, POC gamer, doesn't want his name associated with the product anymore. That's fine. Wizards of the Coast owns the product the second you sign that freelance writer thing. By the way, you're probably one of the last of the freelance writers, Mr. POC gamer, thanks to the new restructuring of Wizards of the Coast, and Wizards of the Coast now being firmly entrenched as part of the new Hasbro thing, which means everything from now on is going to be done in-house. So you're probably one of the last freelance writers. Congratulations. Yeah, so Wizards of the Coast owned it. They could edit it. They could technically rewrite it, at which point it's not what he wrote. It's not the product he presented. Therefore, he is in his right to ask for his name to remove from the product, and Wizards of the Coast are in their right to say, fine, give us our money back. So far, Mr. POC Gamer Babar has not said, oh yeah, I'll give the money back because I don't want to be associated with this product in any way whatsoever. Remove my name. He's just saying, remove my name because I promised one thing. You, Wizards of the Coast, has claimed repeatedly over the past year, pro Tasha's, during Tasha's, after Tasha's, pro Candlekeep, during Candlekeep, and up to apparently yesterday, that you're not going to do this anymore. And that's exactly what you did with my product. And Wizards of the Coast so far has not responded. What a surprise. Wizards of the Coast not responding to allegations against them? Sound familiar? Dragonlance, Gale Force 9. And I'm sure if this guy decides to take them to court, Wizards of the Coast will settle out of court, and then we'll hear in a few months, oh, things are okay. But again, let's just address the hypocrisy and the irony and how just heartbreakingly ridiculous this is. And I'm sorry, did you expect anything other than this? I know Wizards of the Coast made all these claims, but do you actually really think they were going to do this? Candlekeep Mysteries is proof. Wizards of the Coast has no intentions of actually fulfilling any of the promises they made for the last year. They told you what to expect with Tasha's. They told you for a year what to expect with Tasha's. Tasha's came out, and you were upset because it wasn't what you expected. It wasn't as broken as you wanted it to be, and it wasn't as diverse as you wanted it to be. And they were like, no, we told you exactly what we're going to do. Now, yes, this is hypocrisy. Wizards of the Coast for the past year has said, we're not going to do this anymore. No more evil races. No more colonialism. No more picturing somebody as primitive. We're going to go back in time and label all our older product with warnings because somebody might be offended by the way things are displayed in Oriental Adventurers or the old Ravenloft or Temple of the Thunder King or whatever. And then they went and did that. They made races in this adventure evil for the sake of evil. They made the Gripply from a, villager. They basically rewrote Good, the Bad, and the Ugly to make it more like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Fistful of dollars. They made both the bad guys. They made the people in the middle just simple, primitive villagers that the player characters need to save because they're not capable of saving themselves. And then this guy pocketed the money. So, without having the actual contract in my hand, I can't make any further comments other than I really hate this computer. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say except, one, Wizards of the Coast are hypocrites? Of course they are. Two, did you really think Wizards of the Coast was actually going to do what they said they were going to do? No. If anything, Tasha proves to you that they're not going to do anything other than try and make the most amount of money that they can off of the current political environment. And see, dude, if you want your name removed, fine, give them back the money. If you took the money, you accepted the handshake, you signed the contract, once you give it to them, they can do whatever you want. It's like repainting a desk. That's not the desk I gave them. Well, I paid for it. It's my desk now. I can do whatever I want to it. Well, I don't want my name associated with that desk. Well, that's fine. Then give us back the money, and your name won't be associated with the desk. We've changed it enough that it's not yours anyways. That's the solution. Whether a POC gamer will give the money or back remains to be seen. Now, have any of the other writers come forward and said, oh, this isn't what I wrote, I'm upset? I don't know. I've heard rumors that the woman of combat wheelchair fame who wrote the handicap accessible adventure, Canopic Jar, is a little upset that it is not the way she wrote it and doesn't address the issues the way she wanted them addressed. But so far she hasn't come forward and said anything. That's via a secondary source, and therefore I cannot confirm or deny whether that is actually true. Though I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of Miss Combat Wheelchair. We'll see what happens. So how will this play out? Will Wizards of the Coast come forward and explain their choices? Probably not. Will this guy say, okay, yeah, I got screwed. I'm just going to do stuff, direct to print through DM's Guild. Here's the money back. I want nothing to do with you. Or will he continue to whine and cry and say, this isn't what I gave you. This isn't what I wrote. This isn't what I promised. I accepted the contract under false pretenses, so I want my name removed. No. Really, if you want your name removed, give him back the money. That would be the best way to resolve it. And then you could go and say, I gave them back the money. Wizards of the Coast is a bunch of hypocrites who don't actually believe any of the things they said that they were going to believe in because, there's more money in making blah, whatever. I don't know why Wizards of the Coast would change it. Maybe they didn't feel it was enough of a homage to Fistful of Dollars / Yo Jumbo. Who knows? Who knows? I certainly don't know. I do know. Excuse me. Wizards of the Coast being hypocrites and not actually doing what they said they were going to do, and you believing them? Okay, but once again, I don't hate Wizards of the Coast. They're a corporation and they're in business to making money, and they're going to do whatever they need to do to keep their shareholders happy and make money. I'm not angry at them. I don't care. I'm not their target audience anymore. That's fine. Whatever. 5th edition D&D is not D&D, blah, 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 blah. I'm not angry at Hasbro. Hasbro gave us My Little Pony and Transformers. How can you be angry at them? They're going to make the choices that they're going to make to keep their shareholders handy and make the most amount of money that they can. And make the product mostly whatever. I'm not mad at 5th edition because 5th edition is a game engine, and therefore I can't be mad at it because it's not a thing. It's a game engine. I can only be mad at what people do and say and use the 5th edition flag as an excuse to get away with. So I'm not mad at 5th edition. I don't hate 5th edition. I mean, it's not Dungeons and Dragons, but fine, whatever. Who cares? I don't care. I'm not the target audience. I'm not mad at 5th edition. I'm mad at some of the people associated with 5th edition GND. But whatever. Anyways, that's 20 minutes of me talking about bullshit. You're probably tired of hearing the sound of my voice. I know I am. If you appreciate this content, comment down below. If you don't appreciate this content and think I should shut the fuck up, comment down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 400 subs. The 400th sub will win a prize, and of course the goal is 500 subs by August 4th. And we'll do something crazy for my birthday. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And that's about it for Friday. I can't think of anything else to top that. So I will be back with you tomorrow for more fun and adventure in the world of the OGGM. Until then, have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay hydrated, stay sane, and get off my lawn, you damn kids.